Welcome to Redvee TV, round 5 of the Super 8 as Saints return to the Totally Wicked Stadium to take on Hull FC on Friday night. After the great win at Catalans last Saturday, the hubcap and the £100,000 prize that goes with it is essentially secure unless we get absolutely smashed in the next 3 games, and Wigan win all 3 comfortably as well. So we can start to relax and plan towards the semi-final.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? You'd think that'd be the idea. Just kind of, you can take your foot off the gas a little bit. I mean, you're still looking to win games, but yeah, exactly. It'll all be gearing up to that semi now.
I think Justin Holbrook said before the Catalan game that if we got that win, he would start to maybe look at the squad, resting players with niggles, etc. And that looks to be the case this week. Louis misses out. James Roby misses out, Ben Barber may miss out again, Ryan Morgan on the squad. So potentially, yes, there's injuries. If the game had a lot riding on it, maybe 1 or 2 of them might have cleared up for Friday night, but as it is, no need to take any risks.
Yeah, absolutely. He's brought James Bentley in, so everybody who's been clamouring for the Bentley debut may be in luck this week. He may well make an appearance. And it'll be good to see kind of where he's at. I think because he was our only signing in the off season, people were expecting him possibly to come straight into the team.
I think we were.
Yeah, and he's a young lad, and really when you think about it in hindsight, throwing him straight into the first team when you're not ready isn't the brightest idea. So they've just managed him coming into the team. The other one who's coming is Jack Wellsby, who I know very little about.
How old is he?
17.
Playing.
Yeah.
Just playing.
Yeah, from the Saints website, I've just got...
We could be his dad.
Oh, God, that is really... That's terrible, that, isn't it? Old enough to be his dad. He's a halfback from Blackbrook, and that's all the Saints website says about him, because, unfortunately, I don't know a lot about the lad.
But hopefully we'll find out on Friday night.
Yeah, you never know.
I think Holbrook said that Ben Barber in the squad, if he's fit, he'll play. Pulled out after the captain's run last week. So there's a lot of young lads in the squad this week. I think Saints tweeted out before the game last week just how many academy players that we had in the 17. I think it was 9 in the starting lineup, 11 in the squad in total. So the future's bright. Hopefully we'll see Bentley. We're going to see plenty of the youngsters this week.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If there's anything wrong with Barber in the slightest, sit him in the stand again.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no point risking him, and I know people are frustrated with the fact of will he, won't he play, but you know what? As long as he isn't disrupting the squad, it doesn't matter what we think. Yeah, you pay your season ticket and you pay your ticket on the door and you support the club, but it really doesn't matter. All that matters is the squad isn't disrupted. If it is disrupted, you hope that they would do something about it. But when it comes to fans, it really matters for me.
For players, I think 99.9% of the time, it's a business for them.
Yeah.
They know it's a business. Whatever's going on with Ben Barber, whether he's going to be here next year or he's not, the players will already know exactly what's happening. They'll have known weeks ago. Yeah. Just like when John Wilkin announced that he was leaving at the end of the season and everybody's like an uproar going, oh my God, big massive shock. He actually said in his interview at Wish FM that it wasn't a big deal. The players and the decision had been made 2 months before, and everything had just gone swimmingly as normal. Yeah. So whatever's going on with Barber and the likes, it's done and dusted. The players will know. For me, I don't care who plays on Friday night. I'm there to support the team, and I want to see us focus on the priority of winning a semi-final and winning a grand final. Hopefully we'll get some performances in the build-ups that will give us confidence, but essentially you could go and chuck the next 3 games as long as you win the semi.
Yeah, obviously.
You don't want to.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to. And you know what, I think it's very dangerous almost taking Hull as a spent force. It looks like they've put the queue on the rack. It looks like they're done. And the performances that they've been throwing in, there's been a couple, the Warrington one especially, you just think, oh my God, what are they even thinking? They've got Jake Connor back this week. Or he's been named in the 19 anyway. Whether he makes it to the 17 is another matter. But he could be a good influence on them on the field. He could get them round the park where they're missing the likes of Albert Kelly to do exactly that. He could be a good rudder for them. So I think it's while we've got to play some of the youngsters, we're going to still prepare for it as it was any other game against any other team and give them the respect they deserve.
And despite losing 8 on the bounce, if you had to put bogey games up for Saints over the last few years, Hull FC at home is right up there, because it's the style of play. Saints, I think we all know now by now, Saints don't cope very well against sides who are grubby and have big forwards and drive it down the middle. We usually struggle against Hull. We usually struggle away at Catalan, so that's why Saturday's result was so good. And that's why we usually struggle against Wigan, because they drag us down to their level with the amount of wrestling they do. So I don't think it's Friday night a gimme, especially with the players we've got out. But luckily, from the course of the season, we're in a position where essentially the result isn't overly important.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you get people saying we need to put a performance in. You know what? There's 2 games we need to put a performance in.
The last 2.
The last 2. The semi and the final.
And even then, the results will be more important than the performance.
Yeah. So, but that's it. And again, it's breeding confidence. It doesn't matter if fans are confident or not. How many times have you walked up to a game thinking, oh, we're going to get absolutely smashed here because we've been on a bad run of form, and the players have gone out and turned in an absolutely brilliant performance and got a win?
I think we said it Saturday, didn't we? We came to watch the game and we were like, not sure of fancy us here. And then, yeah, we had poor patches in the game, but we're away in France. They've travelled early morning on the day of the game and they've gone and put a performance in and gone and ground out the results, and that is the sign of a champion team.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right.
Interesting to note, Holbrook talking injuries, saying Ryan Morgan will be out for another week, but the good thing is he is going to be back.
Yeah.
Zeb Tyre is carrying a knock. I think Louis McCarthy's obviously got a knock. James Roby's got a knock. Ben Barber's got a knock. But Dominic Peru may be back quite soon, hopefully before the semi-final. So we should get a little bit of the early season continuity of the team back together, and hopefully, essentially minus Alex Walmsley, we could potentially be full strength for the semi.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, getting Dom Peru and Ryan Morgan back will strengthen that right-hand side. It's done all right. I'm not trying to disrespect the likes of Matty Costello, who's filled in there, but when you've got the experience, and they might not target Morgan as much as they're going to target a young lad who might be prone to make mistakes. I mean, Holbrook even said he doesn't know where his best position is. So is he a full-back, or is he a centre, or I don't know, he could end up putting him on the wing, or I think he's been mentioned as 6. So people may target him, so getting a little bit more experience on that side, that'll do us great.
Now, as long as we don't suffer defeat on Friday night, we have won the Hubcap officially. It won't be presented on Friday night, we're told. It will actually take place after the Castleford home game, last game of the season. I don't think we want a big fanfare, but I think we may be forced into doing something in terms of presentation by Sky. So you might see odd fireworks, etc. I think personally the club want to play it down, because I think what they seen what happened to Castleford last year with all the "we are the champions" stuff, which isn't true, and it came back to bite them. So I don't think it'll be as quite what we did. Was it about when was it 2008, 2009, round about then, where we just literally got the up cap and basically slung it round between themselves.
Yeah.
I think we'll do what we have to do, but I don't think we'll see any over celebrations with that one.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a shame almost, because I agree with them not to make too much of it because you're not champions, but it is a shame that winning the league, as I'll put it, winning the league isn't held in a higher regard, because it shows you the most consistent team at gaining points over a longer period than just the playoffs. Obviously, it probably needs a rebrand. Whether you call the winners of it the premiers.
If I said to you now, right, Kev, name the last 5 league leaders from the last 5 years. Go back year by year. So I'll give you Castleford for the start.
Okay. 2014 was us. Warrington.
I'll be honest.
Wigan, probably.
I can't even tell you whether you're right or wrong.
All right, fair enough. That was a rubbish quiz then.
Let us know if we're right in the comments. But there you go, and that shows exactly what regard it's kept in. I think we've banged on all season about, well, first of all, we talked about, I don't care about finishing top. I want to finish top 2 for a home semi. Yeah. And even now, let's be honest, if we finish second now, would it make a difference whether we played Castle or Warrington? Probably not. We only decided that we wanted to finish top when we realised that there was £100,000 prize money attached to it, which is essentially your Danny Richardson wage for a season. That's an extra player in your squad that you can afford to have and adds that quality. So that's why the importance of finishing top was there.
This is where Danny Richardson's on less than that and he goes knocking on Mike Rush's door.
Them lads on Redvee said away £100,000. Yeah. Yeah. Should have gone for like a, I don't know, somebody done more. But yeah, so there we go with that one.
That's it. It's a shame that Mo's not made of it anyway, and it's a shame that it's not given out. I'd probably give it out at the end of the regular rounds if you're going to do it.
Which brings us nicely on to our final topic for this episode. The league structure. Right. There's an EGM on Friday to decide the league structure for next season. Obviously, all the Super League clubs who are definitely going to be in the Super League next season want it to go to a 1 up, 1 down. Leeds, who might not even be in the Super League, and some of the Championship and League One Yorkshire Mafia have decided no, that's not right, and they're looking at a compromise of 1 up, 1 down. But the team who finishes second bottom of Super League then goes into playoffs against second, third and fourth in the Championship, which may be a compromise. It was interesting to note Ian Lenigan's statements from Wigan, basically saying that nationally there is absolutely no interest in the qualifiers. He said we go from 200,000 a week watching Super League games to only 80,000 in the qualifiers, which probably says a lot. And if there's no interest nationally in the qualifiers, which is what the Championship clubs actually want to keep, then by the time the next TV deal comes around, we could be looking at a lower TV deal and it being a little bit catastrophic for the game over here, because if there's not enough money in the game, then players are going to go to Australia.
Yeah. With regards to the setup, I'm not entirely sure on a couple of things. The loop fixture idea, I kind of don't get that. Again, it almost skews the league, and it's how do you decide who you play? Yeah. Because is it then based on the top 7 or 8 teams in the league? Is it exactly the same as it has been?
Yeah. So basically, if you finish first, you do play certain league positions. That's why I was able to say before the Super 8, week by week, this is who we're going to play if you finish where they are.
But again, are we then in the same position that people are going to buy season tickets and not know where they're going to play the games in August, so you might miss it on your holiday?
I actually quite like the mid-eights idea, on the basis that potentially 4 could come up and 4 could go down. And them are the games that have been most interesting because they're on a level playing field. You can't do that for your Super 8, because why should Saints be penalised for winning 21 out of 23, whatever it is, and the 8th place team starts on a level playing field when they've lost half the fixtures. But I can now understand the point of view that if nobody's watching it, then it's going to translate down the line to less money.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure what the answer is. Hopefully, the 11 Super League sides, there's 55 votes, we're told. The Super League teams get 2 each.
Yeah.
There's 1 each for the League One and Championship clubs, except for Toulouse and Toronto, who don't get a vote
because they're not part of the RFL.
And the community game gets 7 votes. Now, it's interesting to know that when the Super 8 came in, it was the Super League that decided it on its own. But now it's the entire game that is going to decide whether they can be kept or not. Now, it just seems interesting to me that the community game, the League One clubs, who essentially get 600 fans for half the games, can decide on the future of the game, which could essentially ruin it. It was interesting to note there's some quotes I've just seen prior to recording this from Neil Hudgell, I think it was from Hull KR, basically saying that if it doesn't get voted through on Friday, then the Championship clubs are basically going to have to rely on Championship, League One money, the international game.
That was the joint statement with Adam Pearson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which basically says if they're relying on that money, where are the Super League teams going?
It's sort of similar to Premier League then, breakaway.
Yeah. And I think that's what it's going to look at. If the 11 Super League clubs who won it don't get their own way on Friday, they might stick around for the next year or two, but once that deal's done and dusted, are they just going to break away and say, see you later, and we'll just do our own thing?
Possibly. 2 things that I kind of want to bring up there. One, I can understand League One clubs and the community game being part of it, because obviously you need all parts of the game to be strong, and yeah, they deserve a say, but obviously you get double votes if you're in Super League, so obviously it balances itself out.
But there's a lot of them there's a lot of the League One clubs who are never, ever, ever going to get the Super League.
I know, but it's still, if it's going to be the restructuring of the whole game, you can understand why they have got a say in it. The second thing is, why is it only being decided potentially, or a new structure being decided on Friday, when Saints have got memberships on sale? I know Wigan have got season tickets on sale at the moment. I'm sure other clubs have got season tickets on sale. How can you put season tickets on sale not knowing what's going to happen next year?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Don't even know how many fixtures you're going to have.
Well, exactly. And I find that absolutely ridiculous. I mean, obviously we'll find out on Friday, and we probably won't talk about it after the game, but it's going to be an interesting.
We know all the top bods of Super League watch us. Watch
the top bods.
Everyone watches us.
Danny Richardson.
Please, yeah, Danny Richardson. Who's worth more than 100 grand a week, lad. The thing for me that has got to go is not knowing the fixtures. The last 7 or 8 fixtures.
Yeah.
It's absolutely scandalous. Do they not realise people have got jobs and have get their work times and their off duty set weeks in advance?
Well, I booked a summer holiday. I mean, we all know I was away for a couple of weeks. Thankfully, I missed Wakefield away and I missed the cup final. Now, thankfully, I didn't miss a home game. I didn't have to give up my season ticket for anything. But that's it. People do plan holidays around fixtures. And the one thing I don't want them to go doing is start saying, well, if you finished top last year, you're going to play 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th and whatever. And one of them teams really fall away, or a couple of teams fall away, and it all changes around in the league. So you're playing, one team might get what looks like an advantage and be playing the likes of a Salford who are injury hit, or a Leeds who aren't firing as well as they are, and the other teams are playing Wigan and Warrington.
Now the thing for me is, I can understand fixtures are going to move between Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday, and I can understand that can only happen 6 weeks before. But when the fixtures come out for next season, I should be able to look at it and go, the weekend of the 20th of March, Saints are at home that weekend.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we understand fixtures move, but I can look at the Everton fixtures for next April, and if I want to go on holiday, I can book my holiday knowing that Everton would be away from home that weekend.
Yeah.
Now, we end up in a situation where we don't know the Super League, Super 8's fixtures until the end of July.
Yeah.
And then you finally get your last 7 fixtures and everybody's scrambling, well, oh my God, we're home on that Friday night, I need to change my work shift. Or we're away that weekend, I need to book a holiday so I can go to the game. And then after that, you get a week and a half, 2 weeks before the game, and then they move the night of it. It's just absolutely shambolic, and it shows a lack of respect for the fans. No disagreements.
No, it's not.
But yeah, that's the situation we're in. Anything else?
I think we've gone on long enough.
Shorter than last week, just a little bit. Right, we will see you on Friday night, hopefully for a victory, instant fan reaction. I was going to say a celebration then, but we're not celebrating because we're not going to be champions. It's just a hubcap, as we keep pointing out. But yeah, but it's silverware in the cabinet.
Absolutely.
And £100,000 in the money in the bank briefcase for Mr. McManus to take up back to the boardroom and stroke and go ha 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 ha. But yeah, we'll hopefully we might be able to give you some reaction on what happens at the meeting if they don't all kill each other. Right, don't forget to like, share and subscribe as we approach 200,000 views. We're well over 900 subscribers, so thank you very much for that, and we will see you on Friday night.